Hello, everyone. It is Autism Awareness Month still, so I want to talk a little bit more about some of my experiences in the gym. First off, this is the most consistently I've stayed at a gym. So for the past 2 years, I've been at Muscle House and Fitness in Maryland. And it's a small local gym for me. Local for me, obviously. Not local for most of you, I'm assuming. It's a small gym, and the point is that it's not a corporate-run gym, and I'm not trying to be anti-corporate just for the sake of it. I think there's a number of reasons why, as an autistic person, you might want to avoid some of the larger corporate-run gyms. I'll start with my own experience with them. First off, it's not really their fault if I wasn't very successful in my own fitness attempts before. I was a different person. I've done this, decades before. And for the past couple years, I've been very good about staying fit and losing a lot of weight and building some muscle at the same time. So I can attribute a lot of that to the gym I'm at, but also a fair amount of just who I am as a person now. Still, my previous experience with corporate gyms was that you don't really get the attention that you would want. It will feel like you're locked into a contract, and in many ways you kind of are. They can make it very difficult to get out of the contracts. So you may want to bring someone with you when you go to sign up if you're going to do that. And you may even want to do that online and not they tend to have salespeople running desks and things like that, so it's a high pressure kind of environment. That's another reason why just signing up for one, you might think, oh, they've got all these amenities, they've got all these classes. That can be cool, but in general, I didn't want to use a lot of those, and so a lot of the high pressure tactics of maybe getting me to buy extra classes or just flashing those as something that would be at my disposal made it, well, I don't really need to pay for all that. And it turns out I probably pay, I paid a fair amount for where I'm at. A fair as in it's reasonable. The amenities, now, some of the differences between a corporate gym, again, and a smaller gym, amenities would be one of them. So showers. The gym I'm at doesn't have a shower. So when I'm done working out, I'm going to have to go home and do my shower there. Now, at first, I was a little bit put out by that. It was inconvenient. But then I remembered my experiences at other gyms, corporate gyms, well-run, well-established, have to answer to somebody above them gyms. And yet, showers were always inconsistent in their temperatures. Like, doors didn't work. Showers were out of order. All kinds of stuff would go wrong in the bathrooms. And just, do I really want to shower with a dozen other dudes that I don't know? It just, I have a certain amount of modesty. Maybe I'm prude. Maybe I'm just a different generation or something. I don't know. I don't want to do that. So as it turns out, not having a shower at the smaller gym, missing that amenity, that's not a bug. That's a feature. That's good. All right. I'll take that, actually. Showers are inconsistent and uncomfortable and awkward at the actual gym. The local gym that I go to, turns out it's within biking distance. It's 1.5 miles from me. I could even just walk it or run it if I wanted to. So that, again, makes it a little less uncomfortable for my commute. That would be something for you to consider. How far is it? If you can find something that's within walking or biking distance, so you can make that as like either your walk or bike, like the commute part of the exercise, that would be excellent. So those are some things to consider right there. Those are some reasons to maybe join a smaller gym. Another reason I can say that I'm very happy at this gym in terms of just being autistic and not even really knowing it at the time, is that smaller gyms allow you to little by little get to know the people there, in particular the people that work there. Like, I have a pretty good relationship, I think, with the owner of the gym that I go to. And it's really just him and a couple other people that might work the desk from time to time. So people know me there enough that I don't have to feel too weird. They're not strangers. They're safe people to me if I have to ask, can I get the pin for this machine? Or something like that. And they're very reasonable. And more to the point, as I've been learning more about my own neurodivergence, because I didn't know I was autistic when I signed up, as I've learned more about things, I've been able to practice more unmasking, and the gym has been an excellent place to do that. For one thing, I've always been fidgety, and I've always liked to, stretch my limbs and wring my hands and things like that. And well, geez, that's just normal behavior at a gym, to stretch and doing things like that. That's very normal at a gym. So a lot of my stems are completely normalized there. And me being a little bit fidgety, all right, so what? If that's what I'm doing that day, nobody cares. And, it's a little bit disruptive if I'm in a classroom and I had to learn to knock that off. But in a gym, if I'm sitting there, I'm waiting, for getting my head right so I can do my next set, nobody cares. And if I want to do my set with my eyes closed, because I'm on a machine and I don't want to see all the lights. I just want to be in my head and count things out. Maybe I'm using an isolated press and it's not on a bar. I don't have to look for safety's sake. I don't need to worry about that. I can keep my eyes closed. I can block out that. And definitely I'm wearing my headphones for sure. I'm going to be wearing headphones and listen to whatever I want to listen to. Nobody cares. Nobody thinks it's rude. There will be awkward interactions here and there where maybe you were using a machine and you now need to swap in and out with somebody, and that's just part of gym etiquette. You'll learn how to do that. Some people can be rude, but for the most part, people are pretty cool about sharing machines. The most intimidating, scary looking dudes there are usually the ones with the most experience, which means usually they've got a lot of wisdom that comes with experience. And they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool about helping you. They're pretty cool about not mocking you if you're overweight or underweight or just an utter beginner about things. People are usually very eager to show off what they've learned. So they're not upset. Having a natural inclination to ask questions the way I do and look for clarity, some people really dig that. They've worked really hard to learn this stuff. They want to tell it. They want to info dump too. So there's a limit, of course. But the gym can feel my point in all this is the gym can feel like a very scary place. But in reality, for autistic people, for neurodivergent people, this is an amazing, an incredible place to unmask and really be yourself, because a lot of people go there and they're very worried about what other people are thinking. So as much as you're thinking oh, what is she looking at me and thinking that I'm looking at her, and is he looking at me and criticizing my form, and most likely they're thinking the same thing. Everyone there is kind of a little anxious in their own way, or for the most part, they're not even thinking that at all. For the most part, just like you, most of the time they're thinking, okay, 8 to 10 reps. Let me get 8 to 10 reps of this, and if I can get that, so I'll add some more. They're thinking about their weight. They're thinking about the work that they want to do in the moment right there. So it's not a bad thing that they're not thinking about you right then. So that's one thing to remember. You'll feel self-conscious at the gym, but there's no need to. Most people are worried about their own selves there, and most people are very eager to help you if you reach out and ask politely. That's the main thing always, just to ask politely when you don't understand something. Try not to assume too much, and the gym can be a very, very welcoming place. Other things that I can say about some of the benefits of the gym that you would get from any gym, just the practice of exercising, is the routines. I have definitely benefited from, structuring my workout. I like to, make my little charts and, say what I'm going to do that day, or record what I'm going to do, and then show track my progress. That's always a lot of fun. Get to play with numbers and stuff like that. I like to track my calories. That's, in a way it's a little bit stress inducing, because dieting and things like that always can be, but you learn when to take breaks, and I'll talk about that in other videos. But just the act of doing that, tracking nutrients, that can be very satisfying. Going down those rabbit holes of learning more about macronutrients and even micronutrients if you want to get that deep into it, and learning how to track all those things daily and track your progress. All of that can be very mentally stimulating as well. So there's a lot of routine that you can build in that helps with your executive function support as well. You kind of learn how to just do things again, you learn how to sharpen your ability to command your focus and your will. Didn't really execute that sentence in a way that demonstrates it, but you learn how to, okay, I get up at 6, I do this, or whatever your time is. And you have a predictable environment. You have a place that you can go. You can learn the times, when it's noisiest, when they play music you like or don't like, although usually I'm listening to my own music. These are all things that you can work with. I guess what I'm saying is the benefits of joining a gym, if you're autistic, are pretty clear. You get an environment that's pretty safe where you get to be around people but not really engaging with them. So parallel play. It's a wonderful place for parallel play. It's a wonderful place for unmasking. You get to be who you are, fidgety, stretching, tapping, even humming a little. Within reason, you can make some noises at some places and people can be okay with that. You learn how to build routines, and you learn, you don't learn how, but you're able to create routines that can be productive and helpful, right? And you have a predictable environment, a safe place that you can go to. So there's a lot of great reasons why, if you're autistic, you should join a gym. So I hope this motivates some of you to look into joining a gym. For a lot of reasons. I joined it really for my mental health, not just for physical fitness. I started the gym for my mental health. So I hope this does motivate some of you to look into the gym as a safe place for you to express yourself as an autistic person. Happy Autistic Awareness Month, everybody.